Never have they ever seen the animal you're about to see. We're gonna use camera traps. Multiple footprints of the tapir. Did we see the mighty jaguar in the Amazon rainforest? Let's go.
1, 2, 3 meses después, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 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 yeah. 7, 8, 9, tú me estás gustando más. 10, 11 meses, estamos locos de verdad. 12 meses y quiero más. 12 meses y quiero más. 12 meses, ven pa' acá, quedamos para más. Quedamos para más.
Hola, I am Dr. Rosa, National Geographic Explorer, UNESCO awarded Indigenous scientist, founder of Amazon Research Internacional, and author of The Spirit of the Rainforest. And this is the only place on the internet where I will share raw and unfiltered opinions about our modern scientific world and the traditional knowledge of our ancestors. So come explore with me.
12 meses y quiero más. 12 meses, ven pa' acá, quedamos para más.
Today we're gonna talk about iconic animals in the Amazon rainforest. One of my personal favorite is the pink dolphin that many have never even heard of. They are not born pink, they are born gray, but they become pink as they grow into adulthood because of a combination of the physical and chemical characteristics of the Amazon brown rivers. The paiche or arapaima, this largest freshwater fish that we have living in our Amazonian waters. There are many myths surrounding this paiche, considered to have been this warrior that disobeyed the gods and that was condemned to live forever in the Amazonian waters. They provide key nutrition to many families and communities. Contrary to popular belief, when we're trekking during our expeditions in the Amazon rainforest, animals are not just jumping around, coming in and out of sight all the time. It is actually really rare to get to see them. For example, in the case of howler monkeys or parrots or different insects, those may be a little easier to see. Some of these animals know how to camouflage real well, or they are nocturnal, or they may even follow lunar patterns. They have extraordinary ways to stay out of sight. So to document where these animals are in the most non-invasive way possible, we're gonna use camera traps. But the big question is, how on earth do you know where to place them when you have a small number of cameras and thousands of hectares of Amazon rainforest? The answer is, we follow traditional knowledge. So with my indigenous colleagues, we are following clues in the rainforest. We are following footprints that are left behind on soil or on mud. We are looking out for fruits or seeds that may have been eaten by these animals. We're also very attentive to any trails or paths that we may see emerging across the rainforest that may follow the shape or direction in which the animal is coming. We also know that some of these animals like to hang around in some areas like salt licks, where they come to drink water but also get some minerals, and sometimes also very attentive to sounds that they inadvertently make, kind of giving us an idea of where they like to hang out. So we grab the camera traps and we physically need to go trek for hours and hours on end in some of the most difficult paths up and down slippery roads until we eventually get to some of these locations where we have found some of these clues. So then we need to find the ideal space where to hang the camera trap from. A tree that can hold the camera at a relatively good height so that we don't miss the animal or can see it in full shape, but also that is not being covered by leaves or that may not be too exposed to rain, because it commonly rains in the rainforest and we want to protect this equipment. So after we have put up the camera traps, we need to be patient. We need to go and check on them to ensure the battery's still working, that everything's still fine, but we leave them really for weeks and months on end with the hopes that we were right in these locations. So in one of my most recent expeditions, we went back into the deep forest, trekked for hours on end to go find these cameras and see the results we may have obtained. But I have to be honest, my biggest fear was, did we actually remember to hit record and turn the camera on at the beginning? And were the batteries even lasting? Let's take a look together. Look how lucky we have been. We were able to see the elusive tapir walking straight to our camera and then walking across the rainforest as well, just minding its own business. The tapir, the Tapirus terrestris. We know the tapir as like the architect of the Amazon because it kind of goes around with its big body, literally making trails, but also helping disperse seeds with its poop. The day that we went to look for this specific camera, we actually saw multiple footprints of the tapir that look relatively recent. So we knew this little guy was around and we were crossing our fingers that we would be able to see it fully in the camera trap. And we did. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Did we see the mighty jaguar in the Amazon forest? Let's take a look. This incredible jaguar appeared right on our camera traps. It is moving so elegantly and it clearly feels really comfortable and safe to just take a rest at this spot. The jaguar. Big cats. Incredibly beautiful animals that in the Amazon are considered keepers of balance because they are seen as these really powerful spirits that are protecting the rainforest harmony. What is really wild is that a few days after we saw this camera trap footage, we were still in the field and we went for a hike during the day and we came across footprints of a baby jaguar 5 minutes away from where we were camping. So they look really fresh from maybe a day or two before, so it is very likely that the jaguars were seeing us more than we were seeing them. We were able to also see this peccary, which people often don't think about running into the Amazon. And they're quite wild because they tend to travel in groups, sometimes up to 50. Look at them all running around together. They're literally shaping the rainforest and can even intimidate the larger predators. And the thing we were not expecting to see. So, we are in an area of the rainforest with incredible indigenous leaders and community members that know generally the wildlife that lives in their territory. Never have they ever seen the animal you're about to see living in their land. One that is often not associated with the Amazon rainforest, but I promise you, if you know where to go and how to find it, you might just get lucky enough to see it. It is the spectacle bear, the Andean bear. Yes, because of the name, you guessed it, it typically lives in the Andean mountains, but there are certain points where the Amazon and the Andes meet, and these Andean bears like to move in and around these spaces. really adding so much wonder to the wildlife that we have, but also helping shape the ecosystem around them too. And my favorite thing of all of this, besides of course seeing this incredible wildlife, is co-creating together with Indigenous youth and leaders. Getting them to see these beautiful creatures that live in their territories, that they know they are around, but may have never even seen before. And also seeing them master techniques like using the camera traps and other tools to better monitor the wildlife. So that was our conversation on iconic animals of the Amazon forest, including some you may not necessarily think about. So I'll see you soon next time for our next conversation.